All right, guys, our notes tonight are nothing flashy, just pretty straightforward. Going to be going through some key vocabulary for our last unit of the spring semester. There's 15 of them, so we're just going to go through them. You need to get them down, listen to the little bit of background information I'm giving you, but pretty straightforward here. So the first one is a push factor. And a push factor is a problem that causes people to immigrate to another place. So examples of that might be, a war, or a lack of jobs, or religious persecution, right? These are things that would push somebody away from a country and force them to immigrate to a new country. Sort of the opposite of that is a pull factor. And a pull factor is a positive. This would be an attraction that a country offers that draws immigrants to it, right? So for example, in America, we have lots of land. That's a pull factor. There are great job opportunities. That's a pull factor. We have freedom of religion. That's a pull factor. Number 3 is the Ellis Island Immigration Station. And that was the port of entry for most immigrants who were coming from Europe. And this was in New York City. Number 4, America Letters, was the name given to letters from immigrants who came to the United States, who sent these letters back to their friends and relatives in their old country. And that encouraged more people to immigrate. Americanization is the idea sort of blending immigrants into American society. So they come over as immigrants, and then over time they get Americanized or blended into American society. Nativism, which is the policy of favoring the interest of people born in America over those of immigrants. So, if it comes down to voting for a law, and if it's better for Americans than it is for immigrants, that would be an example of nativism. The Chinese Exclusion Act. It's an 1882 law that prohibited the immigration of Chinese laborers for a period of 10 years. And it prevented Chinese people who were already in the country from becoming U.S. citizens. And the last one about immigration, Angel Island Immigration Station, which was the main port of entry for Asian immigrants, and it was in San Francisco. Starting with number 9, we move away from immigration terms and more into terms that have to do with what's going on in the country around the time period of the late 1800s, early 1900s. The first one is number 9, muckraker. It's a funny word, muckraker. And a muckraker was a journalist, a newspaper reporter, who wrote about major problems facing America in the early 1900s. A lot of those problems had to do with number 10, urbanization, which simply means the growth of cities, right? So as cities were growing, that led to some problems. Number 11 is infrastructure. And infrastructure means the tools that you need for modern cities to function. Roads, sewers, electricity, transportation, all of those things. Obviously, those two are related. As cities got bigger, you needed more and more infrastructure. Number 12, progressive. The progressives were people who worked to improve conditions in American life in the early 1900s. The National Child Labor Committee. This was a group of progressives who were committed to promoting laws that restricted or eliminated child labor. Workers' compensation, or sometimes just called workers' comp, means the legal right of workers who get injured at work to receive some pay, even if their injuries prevent them from working. And the last one, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or the NAACP. This was another progressive group whose goal was to end segregation and ensure that African American men and women could vote.